The Select Committee on Parliamentary Reform met for the first time today since October 2014. The text of the proposal says this is because of the 2015 general election, changes to the composition of the committee, and the demands posed by Brexit. The committee consists of the Chief Minister, Fabian Picardo, the Deputy Chief Minister, Joseph Garcia, Neil Costa, and Samantha Sacramento. From the opposition benches, the committee includes the GSD's Daniel Feetham and Roy Clinton, and Together Gibraltar's Marlene Hassan Nahon. Under the committee's proposals, the number of elected members of the Gibraltar Parliament would be increased from 17 to 25, and the additional number of members would be backbenchers. At the next general election, voters would be asked to vote for 15 candidates. 15 MPs would then take the government benches, 10 as ministers, and 5 as backbenchers. 10 would make up the opposition benches, 3 of them as backbenchers. The committee has proposed that the Chief Minister and the Leader of the Opposition put forward a joint motion to the Gibraltar Parliament to reflect the recommendations. The Chief Minister said the government had supported the work of the committee in order to improve the quality of democracy by ensuring there are more members in Parliament than there are members of the executive. Fabian Picardo said this delivers a closer alignment to the Westminster parliamentary model of government and is sure this will enhance democracy. Mr. Picardo said he believes people will understand that they need to continue to block vote in order to have a government of the party political nature they wish to see, with backbenchers being additional representatives of that party. He said he looks forward to agreeing the terms of the motion to be presented to the Parliament in his name and that of the Leader of the Opposition, and to presenting legislation to make this a reality in time for the next election. But not all members of the committee agree that the proposals should be carried forward. Marlene Hassan Nahon says neither she nor her party, Together Gibraltar, objects to the enlargement of Parliament, but believes the proposals have been bulldozed past all meaningful consultation just weeks or months before an election in order to serve the interests of the GSLP Liberals, whom she says need to allay fractures within their party by creating more slots for prospective election candidates. Ms. Hassan Nahon, whose dissenting views have been enclosed with the proposals of the Select Committee, says under the proposed model, the government's majority in Parliament remains absolute, and anyone who believes democracy will be enhanced by simply increasing numbers has had the wool pulled over their eyes by government spin. She says the only effect of this reform is to rubber stamp the status quo and add a hollow accolade in the list of the government's self-congratulating press statements, and believes it is wrong to ask the taxpayer to foot the bill for this. Ms. Hassan Nahon goes on to say that the timing and underlying purpose of this proposal is disturbingly familiar to what happened just before the last general election, when the government wanted to lower the voting age to 16, which she rejected at the time because she felt it was just an attempt by the GSLP Liberals to give themselves an electoral advantage. She says the proposals are an insult to the integrity of Parliament, as well as the intelligence of the electorate, and a wasted opportunity to introduce meaningful change. Daniel Feetham, one of 2 GSD representatives on the committee, said for the first time the executive would be in a minority in Parliament, the position in every mature democracy in the world. He said he was glad that government members on the Select Committee have seen the benefits of the proposal and that a clear recommendation has now been made to Parliament. In a statement after the proposals were laid before Parliament, the GSD said the enlargement of Parliament is a positive step that would improve the quality of democracy and how we are governed. It says enlarging Parliament would allow better accountability of ministers and would ensure that Parliament can properly fulfill its role as the people's democratic watchdog. The party says with a larger Parliament, reforms could then be introduced that are not possible today, with backbenchers on both sides helping scrutinize matters and enhancing democracy. Leader Keith Asopardi says he's been openly campaigning for this democratic reform since 2006, with the GSD seeking to introduce a motion on enlargement in 2011. He says it was also official party policy at the last election in 2015 and supported by all GSD candidates, including Marlene Hassan Nahon. He said this should have happened years ago and argued there was no valid argument against the change.